Namaste, beautiful yogis. And today is the closing of our mind detox challenge. Although I will not close it for myself, I have been doing it ever since day 7 ended, or ever since the beginning. And after day 7 ended, I continued doing it because it has been the most powerful thing I have done in years. It has been powerful and beautiful. And if you didn't experience that much intensity with it, you can come back to it or continue. It's not always the right time for every type of challenge for everybody, I get that, but set it aside on your playlist or something to do and come back to it whenever you feel the need for it. So I had a really loaded, very good question about it from one girl, and I will read the question because it's such a detailed question and it's so interesting. I'll try to answer it because that will kind of I will try to summarize the challenge for everybody and kind of give you my thoughts about her predicament, and in general most people's predicaments do have similarities, and we'll talk a little bit about how to approach deeper trauma versus habitual patterns. They could overlap as well. And we'll start with her question. So stay with me here because it is a longer question, but it is so good. Hi Ali, just wanted to ask a few questions about Beautiful Yogi's latest mind detox challenge. First of all your videos were so great and I watched them over and over again so they could sink deeper into my consciousness. They were like I was listening to my own intuition. For a long time, about 10 years, I was going to psychologists for therapy, and at the same time was reading tons of self-help books. And the more I analyzed myself, the less happy I was. Just like you said, it came to the point of feeling stuck with all the knowledge. So although this was meant to be mind detox from negative thoughts, you also talked about childhood traumas and how to be thankful to our parents for serving us and being bad guys so we could grow and overcome our fears. I was wondering, could this kind of mindset, let it go and don't overanalyze, help with deeper issues, or would you recommend some other path in dealing with them? I feel very frustrated when my therapist says that I could never be healed, although I don't suffer from mental illness, just working through parents, emotional, physical neglect while growing up. And your words resonated very deeply with me when you said that we're all fine now, and that helped me realize how I don't listen to my own self and trust every other authority, believing they know me better than I could ever know myself. Beautiful points. It is the same with empathy and compassion that you spoke about in your video about vegan diet. I'm not vegan, I was on and off being vegetarian. I feel the pain and suffering, but it is hard for me to stand on my own, in my own truth, when I'm surrounded with different mentalities. Please, I would like any tips on how to challenge myself and get out of the box to pursue intuitively life. I would be happy to lead. To pursue intuitively life, I would be happy to lead, meaning food and self-realization. Namaste, and thank you for being so brave and sharing your truth. Well, thank you for the question, Maya, and I will try to answer as much as I can. We can leave it as an open discussion if I don't, if I forget to speak about all the points, because my mind generally jumps far ahead of my speech, so that's why I'm not that good at explaining those things, because I have a fast mind and my lips are not as fast. If that makes any sense to you. Anyways, so I would say there is stages and there is a place for everything in life. I wouldn't say that all therapy is bad and all therapists are bad. However, as with everything else in life, you gotta choose something, not just a therapist that is good, but a therapist that is good for you. If you feel that you're bottoming out and you can't figure this out on your own, then external help is always a good thing, obviously, but they have to resonate with you. Not even a genius therapist might not be good for you. So that's one thing. I personally have never chosen to go to therapy because I always feel that, yes, I know myself best. There is no one externally that can. All therapists should do is hold space for you, for your own realization, and shine a mirror or hold a mirror for you to reflect off of them. So if a therapist is too opinionated or instilling other new beliefs in you that are also, again, not your beliefs, you are coming from a childhood abuse with already dealing with beliefs that are not your beliefs, say you're not worth it or such things, then a therapist can just complicate things. So I would always try to look within and trust my own intuition, my gut, and my higher truth, because we always have access to our higher truth. Always have access. Now, one thing to remember is you will never be able to resolve your past by understanding it. Analyzing and understanding things will never heal you. Healing is an irrational process. Healing is not something that you will rationalize, you will make sense of, and it will happen. No, healing can be a spontaneous thing, meaning it can happen in one instant. It can be a gradual process going through years of healing, and even when it's spontaneous, you're never done. So those are 2 points I want to make. Do not think that analyzing your past will resolve the past, and also do not expect your past to ever make any sense, and do not ask too many questions as to why this happened, why that happened, why my life is like this, why, because you're opening, you're basically evoking the floodgate to opens, because when you start understanding those things, it's going to be through suffering for the most part. That is a very spiritual thing, but whenever you start asking deep questions, the learning is intense. The best approach with healing is to surrender, to keep learning to surrender, and it is a process. Every day you can surrender a little more, or re-surrender, the way we brush our teeth and have to shower. You never get there. You never just do one yoga class and you're done. You've completely aligned yourself and achieved some form of deep realizations. There is always more to do, or the same thing to do over and over, right? So it is a process. You never get there, but you have to trust your gut, your inner guides. If you don't tap into your inner guides, you will be always lost up until you do. So the years that you avoid your inner self, you're going to roam around kind of lost, relying on people. Now, if a therapist tells me that I will never be healed, I would walk out that moment. I don't want to sound overly opinionated, but that is my personal opinion, and I'm obviously going to share my personal opinions. And a point I want to make is I'm just another external person to you, and my goal with yoga has been to stay away, to stay to stay in the background of my classes so that you can shine. My classes have been that you can do it at home. There is no people around you, so you can stand in your truth. And there is minimal guidance, and the guidance is mostly self-reflection. So you become the guide. That has been my goal with my classes. So now when I say my truth, you have to again filter everything through your own truth, but don't rely too much on external sources, because you will always feel helpless to some degree. When you externalize your healing, you're putting too much, you're giving too much power to something that you have the power to resolve. You and only you have the power to resolve. Now, with trauma, you always have to take full responsibility. And that sounds harsh to people that feel traumatized, because how are you responsible for being traumatized? Now, believe me, you can be addicted to being a victim. There is such thing as or being in the habit of feeling comfortable in the familiar. So once you've become a person that was victimized, you can be either addicted to that, you can use it for manipulation of situations, meaning you're always, you wear it as your badge of honor. You're this person, and you don't get me wrong, you're not proud of it, you are just using it in certain ways that you're familiar with. So one thing is take full responsibility for everything that ever happened to you. You as a soul have chosen to come to earth and to resolve certain issues and to grow, and the situation you have gone through are situations that can help you. But if you resist the situations, they're not helping you, obviously. So you have to surrender. That's the opposite of resistance. Surrender. That's what yoga is, surrender. You have to constantly forgive more and more. See everything from people's perspectives and understand that we are not here for everybody to treat us perfectly and for us to have a perfect life. If something didn't go wrong, it didn't go right in our childhood, it wasn't supposed to. We weren't supposed to be this perfect people with perfect lives and everybody to treat us right. Life is, as one friend today said to me, life is messy. Indeed, life is very messy, and we're just supposed to have surrender, forgiveness, understanding, and gratitude. The challenge was turning around the mental loops. I don't feel like I will have time for everything, to cover everything, because I'm realizing this is a very deep subject. The challenge that we did replaced mental habits, loops, with gratitude. When you start finding yourself in the in a particular pattern, mental pattern, you immediately turn it around and replace it with gratitude. It's a magical tool. Forgiveness is a gradual process. Obviously, it depends. If you have not been able to forgive for many years, it will be harder because it's part of the pattern. But understanding, full responsibility, forgiveness, and gratitude are your power tools. They're your power tools. Forgiveness will always lead you to your highest truth. It will lead you to your highest truth. And sometimes challenges in your life, such as abuse and just general challenges and illnesses and such things, they're not always that, they don't mean that you've done something wrong. They sometimes are there to propel you forward. So even thank for that. Thank for everything that it's been thrown your way, because we as souls did not come on earth to just rest and have it perfect. We came here with a particular mission to work, with a particular desire to grow, and growth happens usually during challenges. So always ask yourself, is your pain your badge of honor? Do you mention it to people in order to identify who you are, to manipulate situations and people, or in order for you to get some feedback out of it? You always going back to that feeling of feeling victimized, or identifying with it, because if you identify with your suffering, then you're not going to let it go. That's part of holding on to it, is over identifying with your own pain. It's your badge of honor. So ask yourself that. One way to know that you're healed is when you can tell your story without being emotional about it. You just tell it as a witness. You tell your story as if you observed it as an external observer, and that's one way to know that you've actually been able to let it go and heal. Now, if you want to heal, you have to make the decision that you do want to heal. And when you make that decision, it has to be an uncompromising decision. You have to make the choice. Oftentimes we don't heal because we haven't decided to heal. We say, I want to heal, but deep inside there is something that is wanting to stay in the familiar rather than move forward in the unknown. Because once you're healed, you're not going to know who you are anymore. This is a new person with new challenges. Your past life will be wiped out. You're going to face a completely new set of challenges, because new growth will be opening for you. New challenges. You will have to you have to approach life in a new way. And oftentimes people are not comfortable with healing, because that means they're just going to have to change a completely face a completely new living and life and self and identity, and that's almost scarier than being hurt. So all those things, I'm quickly going through those things that I can talk about such subjects obviously for hours and hours and hours, but I want to just kind of throw things at you so that you can research them yourself and contemplate them, and feel free to ask, because I will go deeper into things. But I think in closing, I would like to say that in order to heal, you will have to, that is what probably the most important thing to remember, is you will have to take personal responsibility in order to heal. If you leave healing to someone outside of you, it will never happen. I know that for a fact. I can guarantee you that they can patch up things for you. Complete healing will never happen. And also personal responsibility, taking full responsibility for everything that happened to you, full ownership is the way to go. Forgiveness is a process, but without forgiveness also there is no healing. So forgiveness is not only something external, forgiving someone, but it's also forgiving yourself. So every night before you go to bed, instead of going into your loops and thinking negative things, start forgiving everybody, mentally in your head, and also yourself. Even say your name, this and that, I forgive you, I forgive you. Give yourself some love. Give yourself the words that you want to hear from whoever from whoever was responsible for your pain, right? Give yourself that love, because you're in a position, you are powerful enough to give yourself the love that you so much desire. And when I say surrender, you have to trust the process of living. You have to trust that there is something like angels, guides, higher truth, or something like this, your higher truth. However you want to call it, every religion has understanding of angels and guides, and spirituality also has understanding of it. And we as humans understand that we have gut feeling, intuition, higher knowledge, higher truth, etc. I don't want to attach anything to it, because I know all of you are coming from different backgrounds and religions and beliefs, but you know what I mean. Higher truth. Trust that things are happening in a divine order, and for you to be able to grow. Surrender and trust. Trust the process of living. Trust the process of life. Trust that things happened for a reason, and they happen not in order to punish you, but in order to give you opportunities and to open up opportunities for you to grow. You can always heal. I cannot emphasize that. You can always heal, and it doesn't have to take years. Overanalyzing will never lead to healing, because healing is an irrational process. I already said that. It's a continuous process, and it's an irrational process. And also, don't expect perfection from your past, from now, or from your future. Start now. You can start healing at any moment, at any time. If you expect things to line up perfectly for you, that moment, that time will never come. So start now and don't expect perfection. Understand that life is messy and healing is messy and all of that, and accept it. Accept that there is harmony in chaos. So accept that even though things look so chaotic, there is some higher divine order in that chaos. Also understand, you make a very good point, that you're perfectly fine now. Yes, you're perfectly fine now. So be grateful for the things that you have at the moment, because things can be way worse, and we all know that things can be far worse than they are. So always be grateful for your now and for what you have now, and don't allow a dead past. The past is dead, Don't allow that to be controlling your present. Be joyous now. You have this opportunity to have the sun on your skin in the morning, to breathe, to get excited about new possibilities, about new opportunities in life, about knowledge, about sharing, about giving. And start thinking how you can give more, how you can serve more, how you can express more of your purpose, express more of who you are and why you're here, rather than think that you're identified by your past, because the truth is you're not. It is an illusion that your past can control who you are now. It is an illusion, but it is a strong enough illusion to hold you in prison of that illusion. Free yourself of the illusion, come back to the joyous feeling, the joyous nature of the moment. Start giving, forgiving, surrender, love, serve, and just don't overanalyze things. Just understand that that the mind will is not going to ever make rational sense of why things happened to you. And even if you happen to understand why, it will be through suffering. So surrender is your easier path. Don't over-identify yourself with your past, with who you think you are, because everything changes constantly. Life is in constant flux, and I think that's it. I had a few notes here. Yeah, learn to tap into your intuition, because when you think that someone externally will tell you how to heal and how to get things done, you're always relying. It's all within you. You have all the capacity to heal within you, and that is it. I think I kind of touched up on your main question, or your main, I think it was a major realization for you that actually knowledge is not gonna free you, because knowledge is very analytical and it's here in the head, and healing is here in the heart and in the body, in the physical. So if you start thinking too much, healing will never happen. You have to let it go and get it out through the body. Yoga, breathing, meditation, yoga, that intense ujjayi breath, meditation, letting go, being in the body, being in the now, feeling the body, mula bandha, all of those things will heal you. I will give you a very cool example before I go, and I'll go. Many years ago, 15 years ago probably, I was doing so much yoga, and I would know how I'm feeling this day just by the way I'm breathing during my practice. And I would get on my mat, and I would, for an hour and a half or two back then, and I was doing longer classes because my body wanted that, and I would just be breathing and moving, and it was this fluid, dense type of move that I like to do in my classes. It's not dance, but it feels like dance, you know what I mean. It feels like there is a force moving through you, let's just say that. And one day I had such a powerful mula bandha ujjayi breath connection with each move, and mula bandha helps you to build up your energy, inner energy, because there's no leakage from the first chakra, and you're pulling energy from above, prana. So I started having this almost physical voice, almost tangible voice in my head. It wasn't a voice, it wasn't like an external voice. It's a very rare experience. I don't have voices in my head, so it's a rare experience of profound knowledge. And it was saying it is all within, because it was right before I was gonna go through a very heavy period in my life, and I didn't know it was gonna blindside me just in the next week or so. And I felt something coming, and I was just I felt that, oh, I better do more spiritual practice, because something's coming. I felt something coming, and my life was turned upside down after, and it required a lot of inner strength to continue forward. And I was doing this practice, and it was such a high, such a profound connectivity with the universe and everything. It's just the most ecstatic experience, and this understanding of me building that prana said it is all within, it is all within. And I understood that for me to feel full, complete, powerful, empowered, loving, loved, willing and able to give and spread love and spread knowledge and share love and all of that, I had the resources all within me. I didn't need to look outside. And just a little disclaimer, I am a strong believer that we're all one and no man is an island. So we all work as one and we're just particles of the whole. So within the whole, you are your unique you, and you are you can guide yourself into healing, growing, and so forth, and you're still part of the whole. Anyways, those are deep subjects, and because I see that this video is, I think, I can't tell here, but it's either 20 or 29 minutes. I think 29 minutes probably. So long enough. I will see you very soon. I'm gonna start a new challenge for either this week or next week or midweek. I have 3 challenges planned out, so I'll decide which one to go with right now, but they're all very cool. And I love you all, sending you my love, and I'll see you with another video. Namaste. Now I finished shooting the video, but I want to make a little distinction as far as how we distinguish between patterns, learned response, behavior, habitual response, and responding to a new situation. We don't judge a new situation with negative response. If there is something that happens in your life and you have an authentic response to it, say loss of a job, losing someone, stress, someone insults you, or someone does something unfair to you, then there is no negative and positive way to respond, way to judge your feelings and emotions. The best thing to do is to let your emotions flow, express your emotions, because suppressing emotions leads to further damage and obviously the pattern of dealing with trauma. So responses such as anger, grief, sadness, crying, even aggression, all those responses, they're natural, instinctual ways we respond to a new situation or trauma. They're by no means negative. They are a good way for you to process what's going on, so in turn you can resolve it within yourself. So a lot of people think because we're spiritual we're not supposed to get angry. I absolutely disagree with that. Anger is a beautiful emotion, it's a valid emotion, it's important. It's an important way to process things. The way sadness and grief is important in times of loss. Same with the other so-called negative emotions. So there's no negative emotion when we are processing a new event. As long as that's not our pattern. Anytime someone does something to you, we fall into a pattern. Obviously, it's a pattern. But if you have a new emotion and you have to process it with those ways of processing the situation, then basically, when it comes down to all of this, is learn to know thyself. Because all of this is, there is disclaimers and there is ways to understand yourself deeper and more, or ways to understand yourself more and more. So learn to know thyself, distinct between patterns, distinct what's healthy, what's unhealthy, and so forth. I mean, it's really not very complicated once you learn to trust. Trust your guidance, your higher instincts, and keep learning. That's the whole point. We keep learning.